Well, if you've ever wondered if the 301 or 301A has get up and go, you know the answer to that now. With the way that I launched into that sew-off, I kind of started out and I just a nice little jog, and then decided to jump in with both feet full force, which is kind of cool. And it laid down just a beautiful stitch from start to finish. That was a real long run. That was a real long run, obviously. And this machine did just a fabulous job. Fabulous job. And not a huge sew-off. I mean, we're talking 2 layers. Yeah, 2 layers of U.S. Army grade canvas. Then we hop over to the lock stitch. I got to kind of pull it back a little bit. And there's just no difference there as well. Beautiful lock stitch from start to finish. I might increase that upper tension a little bit to get it to pop even more, but I'm really pleased with the presentation of that. So, and again, look at the length of that runoff. Can you see that in the shot? It's probably one of the longest runs I've ever done with a machine, especially at the launch. And let me kind of talk about this machine a little bit. This is obviously a 301. And as you may have seen on the Facebook post, it was born in 1952, which was the very first series of the 301 machine at its inception. And it was the first slant needle machine that Singer ever made. So it's got those bragging rights as well. But this particular machine, serial number, again, the very first series of 301s that were made by Singer, is N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, 151153. And being that this was the very beginning of the launch of the 301, 301A series, they called it the Grand Introduction. How cool is that? And obviously, Anderson, South Carolina was kind of the birthplace of the 301s in general. And they really were an answer, and I've said this in other videos, other premieres before, they really were the answer to those that had already fallen in love with the featherweight. The featherweight, again, was introduced at the Chicago World's Fair back in the 1930s. And people right away were just enthralled with this little mighty mite of a machine, 11 pounds, and it could sew a number of different materials, and it had just a lot of get up and go for a 0.4 amp motor. But as that honeymoon kind of went on, and the glamour and the glitz kind of faded, all of a sudden those featherweight owners started to say, well, we still love our featherweights, but it'd be great to have a machine that had a little bit more harp space, a little bit more distance between the pillar and the needle. We still want that extension bed that kind of folds up and down, because we really like the way that gives us more workspace, but we also want a little bit more motor as well. So Singer, being a responsive company, said, okay, let's see what we can come up with. So they came up with a 301 and a 301A, and they went from a 0.4 amp motor to a 0.54 amp motor, which, if you don't know it, 0.54 amp motor is the same size motor that you're going to find in a Singer 201-2 or Singer 1591, the potted motor machines. And like the potted motor machines, the 301 and the 301A are going to have the benefit of that direct drive, that positive traction, because on both of these models, and I'm saying both of these models because if I widen my shot a little bit, you'll see I have a 301A there, a beige colored one on the left. And then on the right, boy, am I remiss. On the right, I've got this machine that I literally just listed for sale yesterday, the black one. And the previous black long bed 301A that I had listed lasted 4 hours. This machine lasted less than an hour. And a wonderful lady, Dr. Sonita Sadio, I'll just say Dr. Sadio, or Dr. S, from New York City, saw this pop up on the radar and went after it. Boom. Had a number of inquiries that came in afterwards, just like the last 300 series Singer, and I had to tell them it's gone. It's gone. These New York people, they don't mess around, man. They see something they want, boom, they're after it big time. So, at any rate, this 301, the black one, is sold, and Dr. Sadio, who works as her experience in trade is plastic surgery. So she went through all the medical training, the medical school and everything. I believe she went to Johns Hopkins. Very smart lady. And then she went on to do her specialty work in becoming a plastic surgeon. And now being at the center of the epicenter out in New York, has been jumping in left and right, working with a number of different charitable organizations, setting up medical clinics, and a number of other things to help folks out. So I'm delighted that she's the new owner, and she's going to be using this as soon as it gets out to New York to begin helping with personal protective gear like masks and other things like that, along with just sewing pleasure. It's a wonderful retreat. It's a wonderful get away from the chaos and just have your Zen moment, if you will, and your opportunity to refresh and revitalize down at the Needle. So that was one of her big motivators as well. As a matter of fact, her first note made me chuckle. She reached out and she said, you know, I'm so-and-so, I'm out in New York, we're in the middle of the epicenter, everything, chaos and everything, and I thought I'd go shopping for sewing machines. And she did, and she eventually saw this one pop up, and boom, she was on it just with a blink. But real quick, and I'll just point this out real fast, the other 300 series machine you see to the left there, the 301A, the real pretty beige one in my opinion, which also in my opinion is museum quality. That's going to be going up for sale as well. So if you have an interest in getting it, if you were interested in Dr. Sadio's and it's gone now, and you're saying, doesn't matter to me if it's black or beige, I think the beige is gorgeous as well, and I certainly do, then you'll want to reach out right away when you see this premiere and say, I'm interested, hold it for me, what do you want for it, blah, 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 and we can have our dialogue and discussion, and then we can see where things go from there. But it's also a long bed, as you can see. It's mint condition, and it's going to come with all the bells and whistles that Dr. Sadio's did. It's going to have the original trapezoid carrying case. It's going to have a bunch of attachments, other goodies like that, and I think you'll be really pleased. So that's a shameless plug. Another 300 series Singer for sale there. Gorgeous beige one. If you missed out on this beautiful black one, you've got a second chance, okay? So let me get that out of the way so that it doesn't hinder my ability to showcase this incredible 301 that's going to be heading out to New York real soon, and is going to be doing a lot of fun sewing out there. So oh, I know what I wanted to show you. Let me zoom in on this. This is the original certificate, and you couldn't really see it in the still shots, but this is the original Singer guarantee that came with this 301 that was given to the original owner. This is an original owner machine, like pretty much all of my machines in my personal collection. And the owner that bought it out in New Jersey ended up getting this certificate with it, and then obviously an original instruction manual as well. And you saw all that stuff on the Facebook shots that Dr. Sadio is going to be getting. You know, the other thing I forgot to mention is, as we're looking at this incredible badge mark and the 301 model number below it, you may have been saying, okay, Scott, that other 301A that is going to be coming up for sale, how is it different? How's a 301A different from a 301? They're absolutely identical, with the exception of the badge mark. The badge mark, and you know what? Now I got to bring the machine back, because otherwise you're going to be trying to remember what in heaven's name did we see. The badge mark is the only difference. So here you're looking at Dr. Sadio's beautiful badge mark. It's got kind of that black accent around the outer ring there. Can you see that? Just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And on the 301A, where are we? The badge mark's going to be just slightly smaller, but it's going to have a slightly darker ring around the outside. But they are, I would say they're probably about 1 to 2 millimeters difference in size, overall size, height, circumference. There's the 301A. And there's the 301. You can see right away it's significantly larger, and it's not just because we're closer to it. They made that badge mark. It's taller, it's a little bit broader, which is cool. All right, so I wanted to show you that. Now I'm back on track, like the little 9-year-old that I am. So let me move the 301A again. Again, for sale. If you want to make an inquiry right away, don't wait. It's not going to last. And let's do some more sewing with Dr. Sadio's 301. Oh, let me check my camera shot. Yeah, we're good to go. So we're going to be doing some other sew-offs with this 301 as well. Again, we're talking about a machine that has a lot of get up and go. And lays down beautiful stitching, just like its little sister, the Featherweight. And when it comes to sewing delicate, it can do that. When it comes to sewing heavy duty, it can do that. It's a very versatile machine, and again, having comparable power and drive to the 201-2 and the 1591, it doesn't lack any reserve power either. All right, so what I'm going to sew now is a single layer of this leather stretchy material, is the best way I'll describe it. And you know what, let's not do a single layer. It's kind of insulting to this machine. I'll go ahead and fold it in half. Actually, I'll fold it in threes. We'll do 3 layers of it. Otherwise, it's just too doggone easy. This machine now, after I've gone through it and optimized the motor and the foot controller, well, you saw what it's capable of doing. It's just got get up and go that does not know any boundaries. But you can still harness it. We're going to do that on this sew-off. We're going to kind of hold that power back. We'll lay down some stitching, we'll make our turn, and then we'll come back to the finish. All right, you ready? Here we go. I am really having to hold that power back big time. Dr. Sadio is going to have to wear a seatbelt when she operates this thing. I'm telling you, big time. All right, and down to the finish. Here we go. Beautiful stitching. Let me clip these threads real quick, and then I'll show you the stitching on this this 301 of this. And this is real, I've talked about this before, this is real tricky stuff when it comes to the rubbery nature of this material. It's just really tricky stuff to sew with. So there you can see our top stitch. I think you can see it. Start to finish, just absolutely gorgeous. Not a beat missed with this 301. Kind of trying to get the right camera angle here. Absolutely gorgeous stitching in every respect. And as we turn it over, that's our lock stitch. There's no difference there whatsoever. Absolutely gorgeous stitching from start to finish. So these are, what, 3 layers of this rubbery material. Not an easy task at all, but this 301 got the job done just like a blink. Now what are we going to do next? Let's go ahead and move over to some leather. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can sew some of this genuine elk hide. And again, this elk hide, if you look at it from the side, we're talking probably about 4 ounces of leather. Nothing lightweight about this stuff at all. And as we're looking at the needle from this position right here, as I said, I think I said, the 301, and Dr. Sadios in particular, being born in 1952, was the very first series of these Singer 301, 301As that were coming out of Anderson, South Carolina. And as Singer was looking at kind of evolving the featherweight and adding features and benefits that would appeal to those featherweight owners so that they would want to own a 301 or a 301A as well, they added, like I said before, a bigger motor. They added more harp space. They left the extension bed that folds up and down, which is a wonderful feature on the machine. But they also added that slant needle. And again, the 301, 301A was the very first slant needle that Singer ever made. And again, to dispel the misgivings that some people have, they didn't add the slant needle design because it gives more power to the machine. They added it because it gives you better visibility down at the needle. And that was another feedback factor that the owners of the featherweight gave, is that they love their featherweights, but sometimes seeing what was happening down at that needle was a little bit difficult. So Singer developed this slant needle, again the 301, 301A being the very first models that had that attribute. And I think it really does serve well to give you better visibility down at the needle. Blah, 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 blah. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and buzz down some genuine elk hide, single layer, about 4 ounces. And we'll make our turn at the end, and then we'll race back to the finish. All right, you ready? Here we go. Make sure my take-up arm is all the way up. Yes. I'm really trying to hold that power back, folks. I really am. Trying to hold that power back. Oops. See, as soon as I said that, I totally went off the leather. It just has, oh my gosh, it has so much get up and go. So much get up and go and gumption. So now I've got to reconcile this somehow. I'll clip my threads and then I'll reconcile it by seeing if I can get us back on track. And you know what, I've done it again. I'm using an original needle on this 301. And I should mention the flat side of the needle is going to go to the left. And I'm going to put a fresh needle in. I normally wouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it because I think I'll be able to get some better stitch output all in all if I drop everything all over the workbench. Oh my gosh. It's going to be one of those days, folks. It's going to be one of those days. Bear with me for a second here. See what I get when I break routine and I go, okay, now I'm going to change out the needle. In the middle of the premiere, I'm just going to put a fresh needle in. I've got the original needle in there where I was doing all of the off-camera sew-offs. And I don't want to run into a problem with breaking a needle or doing something else that is going to make sewing awkward for us in any way. And I drop everything. So, all right. So again, flat side is going to go to the left. And let me pop this new needle in, and then we'll continue our march with this 301. And I should mention, even as I say the flat side goes to the left, the beauty of the 301 and the 301A is the way they have that needle shaft set up. You can't put the needle in any other way. So if you tried putting the flat side, a different direction, it's not going to work. It's only going to go in one way. And they did that intentionally just again to make it easier on their machine owners so that they wouldn't have to, you know, dwell on that factor of, well, which way does the flat side go? And I think that's a brilliant design feature in that you don't have to be worrisome about that. All right, let me give this thread a clip. All right. And I should also mention, I was going to check to see if I could tell you about the alignment of the bobbin. Yeah, that's right. Bobbin, I've been dealing with so many different machines. I like to double check sometimes, then I'm not going to give misinformation. And when you insert the bobbin in the bobbin case, you're going to want to have that thread coming over the top so that bobbin is going to be feeding counterclockwise. And then we're finally threading this new needle that I'm inserting. We're threading it from right to left. Okay, so now that I've totally wonked up everything, dropped needles all over the workbench. Maybe I should put on some music as an interlude just to try to save myself after all the craziness and chaos. It's been so busy in the workshop, folks. I really have kind of lost my rhythm when it comes to the routines that I typically follow. And that's why I was planning on changing this needle out and I never got to it. All right, so here we go. We're going to finish our run going down after all of the chaos. All right, here we go. All right, and I will close the box just because it's been crazy. All right, let me clip these threads and we'll look at this genuine elk hide. So again, I'm not a big needle guy. Most of you know that. But at the same time, keeping needles fresh in your machine, no matter what kind of sewing you're looking at doing, it really is essential. So here you can see that elk hide that we just sewed. And again, from start to finish, absolutely spot on in every way. The spacing, the formation. I can actually come in on that shot just a little bit more. Absolutely gorgeous stitching in every respect. I got to kind of bend it a little bit. So again, the spacing, the formation, the stitch definition, the stitch presentation, absolutely spot on. And again, nothing lightweight about this stuff. About 4 ounces of genuine elk hide. And as we turn it over, get my nap lined up here. Nothing different here either. I can kind of try to pull it back for you so you can see these stitches kind of pop through. Absolutely gorgeous stitching all the way around with a single layer of elk hide for Dr. Sadio's Singer 301. So a definite pass on this elk hide as well. Once I got done dropping needles all over the workbench, which I'll probably be looking for the rest of the day. And it's just a super job on every sew off so far that Dr. Sadio's 301 has done. All right, so what are we going to sew next? I think we'll go ahead and do this compressed felt. And I've got 2 layers of it. I'm trying to line them up right now. I've got 2 layers of it. We're probably going to buzz down, make our turn, and then buzz back. So let me go ahead and line it up underneath the presser foot. And we will begin our journey of sewing this compressed felt. And again, the compressed felt, as you've seen on some recent premieres, is not easy stuff in the least to get through. It is tough stuff. And it even has the capability to break a needle, as you saw in that one premiere. So we'll see how Dr. Sadio's Singer 301, again born in 1952, does with a task like this. All right, here we go. And I'm really trying to hold that power back as best as I can. This is going to be tough. I've got such a short run. I just went a little bit off target there. A little bit off target. Okay, let's get back on the road. Here we go. Here we go. Once I get my take-up arm up, here we go. And with no music playing, you can really listen to this machine run. It just runs silky smooth. Silky smooth. There's just no effort. No matter what the sew-off is, it just gets the job done with absolute ease, which is what you would expect after a machine has been on my workbench, that it would be able to get tasks done that other machines would struggle with just like a blink. So here's our top stitch. And this is a fairly long sew-off. I picked these intentionally because I wanted to have fun with that motor. And you can see here the stitches are absolutely spot on. I'm kind of looking over my shoulder here so I can see that I've got them lined up correctly. And again, we're talking 2 layers of compressed felt. Not an easy task at all. And yet this 1952 Singer 301 got it done just like an absolute walk in the park, laying down perfect stitches from start to finish. Just like you can see here on the, this is our lock stitch now on the back. Just absolutely perfect stitching from start to finish. So these 2 layers of compressed felt are a definite pass on Dr. Sadio's Singer 301. I'm going to throw that to the rear as well. And I'll take a quick little break and get a drink of water. I don't know what that is. This is called The Immortal Soul. It's kind of a nifty song name, isn't it? Well, I hope you folks are doing well wherever you are in attendance at this premiere, and that you're really finding a new appreciation for Singer 301, 301A series machines that Singer put out. Again, the very first slant needle machines that Singer ever made. All right, my break's over. Back to work, Scott. Back to work. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do next is some protected full grain leather, and this stuff is a nightmare. Look at the nap on this stuff. An absolute nightmare when it comes to being able to get through it. And I'm wondering if I should probably put these back to back so that we don't have to contend with trying to look at the stitches on that nap, because that nap is just, I mean, it's like a shaggy dog, and it's going to be really tough, even if I pull the stitches back. So I'm going to put these back to back, and we're probably talking about 8 to 10 ounces of protected full grain leather. So let me get it underneath the presser foot, and we will buzz down. And hopefully with my white thread, we don't have any trouble seeing this. I think we'll be okay. And we'll see how this Singer 301 from 1952, again, the very first series of Singer 301, 301As that ever came out of the factory, does with a task like this. I think it'll be fine because, again, it's got a motor comparable to the Singer 201-2 and the Singer 1591, 0.54 amps of power compared to the original featherweight, its little sister, that only has that 0.4 amp motor. All right, are you ready? Of course you're ready. All right, here we go. All the way on the foot control, Scott. I'm trying to really hold the power back, folks. Really trying to hold the power back. All right, let's make our turn. I hope I stay on the leather this time. Sort of did. Went off just a little bit, but we're pretty close. We're pretty daggone close. All right, I'm going to get back on the road, and here we go down to the finish, and this time I am not going to close the box. All right, are you ready? Here we go. Had to give it a little bit more power, you know what I mean? Just a little bit more power. Not much, just enough. You saw it on the initial sew-offs. This machine has so much reserve power now. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, let's get this. I'm trying to pick up all my little thread fragments now. Yeah, this will be a little bit tough to see, but I think you'll be able to see it. I'll kind of pull it back for you. Beautiful stitching from start to finish. The spacing, the formation, exactly as we want to see it. And actually, I did a pretty good job down here staying on the leather this time. So again, just the overall stitch quality is absolutely fabulous. And again, if you look at it from the side, that's what we just went through. And we went nap against nap, which, whether or not you realize it, when you're trying to put a needle through nap against nap, it's going to raise that piercing threshold even more than if you had the material facing the same way. It's almost like putting wood with a grain going one way and then trying to put the grain the other way and trying to drive a nail through it. Good luck. So, but that's okay. Dr. Sadio's machine did just a fabulous job. Here's our lock stitch now. And our lock stitch as well is absolutely spot on when it comes to the spacing, the formation, and just the overall presentation of that stitch through 2 layers of protected full grain leather. So I'm going to definitely give this a pass. I'm going to throw that to the back, and we will look at one of our final sew-offs now already. It's gone real quick. Even amid my changing out the needle and dropping needles all over the workbench, this 301 from 1952 just makes it look and gets the job done so easy. So our last sew-off is going to be genuine cowhide. I'm going to try to line it up here so you can kind of see what we're going to be sewing. So there's our 2 layers of genuine cowhide, probably about 8 to 10 ounces of leather. And if I get it lined up underneath the presser foot, let's see, yeah, we've got coloring. I was looking at the coloring where they had done their markings at the factory where they use this to do planes and stuff. And we'll just kind of sew over the top of it because it's on both pieces. All right, so let me get this presser foot down, and we will do our final sew-off now, unless I decide to do like a sewing in a circle thing or something like that, which would be a lot of fun. especially depending on the type of music I would pick for it. So here we go, 2 layers of genuine cowhide, about 8 to 10 ounces of leather on Dr. Sadio's 1952 Singer 301. Here we go. Really kind of holding that power back, folks. Really doing my best to hold that power back. All right, needle down. Let's do our turn, which we don't have much turning room here. I'll do my best. All right, and now we're going to see if we can go down to the finish. Here we go. I didn't do too bad in controlling that power, huh? That was pretty good. That was pretty doggone good. All right, let me give these threads a quick clip. And then we will take a look and see how our 301 did with 2 layers of genuine cowhide. Definitely not an easy sew off. Not an easy sew off at all. Wow, beautiful stitching. Absolutely beautiful stitching. Okay, and this is another long run, so I'm going to do my best to kind of hold them up and hold them out for you. So again, there's our top stitch, spacing, formation, exactly as we want to be seeing it in every respect. Beautiful stitching from start to finish. Not a missed beat with this Singer 301. And again, look at it from the side. 2 layers of genuine cowhide. And as we turn it over, see if I can line it up like this for you. This is our lock stitch. Even popping through that nap, you can see the spacing and the formation, and the presentation of this stitch is just absolutely spot on. Just flip it like this, we can do the other row as well. Just absolutely gorgeous stitching. I'm hoping you can see that. So it's a definite pass for these 2 layers of genuine cowhide. I just don't know how I can challenge this machine, to be honest with you. We put it to the test with all kinds of challenging sew-offs, and it got it done just absolutely like a walk in the park. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can line these up in some way so that we're going to be able to see what we want to see. I'll do my best. Oh, let's see here. Put that one next. Compressed felt. Elk hide. Stretchy leather stuff. That's an absolute nightmare when it comes to trying to get through it. Our real long run, I can't even show the whole thing. Here, I'll do it like this. Of U.S. Army grade canvas. And that should probably just about get us to the finish line. Just bear with me for a second here, folks. Trying to decide how to position this one too. Yeah, I'll move that felt over there. There we go. Some of these sew-offs are ridiculously long, so it takes a little bit longer to get them lined up. and I will come off the tripod so we can see them even closer. Let's see, I wanted to put on one more. There we go. So we are finally at the finish line with Dr. Sadio's 1952 Singer 301. That's going to be heading out to New York. Bring our camera shot out a little bit. And not only is this a gorgeous machine, but it just sews like a big boy as well. Even though she is the big sister to the featherweight, she's a tough gal, let me tell you. Okay, so let's start from left to right. Actually, you know what? Let's totally mix it up. And we'll look at this huge long run that we did with this U.S. Army grade canvas, where I really had a lot of fun kind of buzzing it up. And you've already seen the lock stitch in all these, so I'm not going to belabor that again by showing that to you. So this is our U.S. Army grade canvas. We just kind of buzz down it real quick. Actually, if I come up a little bit like this, it's a little bit clearer. Well, it was clear. This camera is not a happy camper today. I think I finally have the right angle. Thought I had the right angle. I'm just going to pick this up. This is driving me nuts. It's probably driving you more nuts. Absolutely gorgeous stitching. I'm still going. It's that long. What do you think, Dr. Singer? Yep, I agree. This is a fabulous machine. I'm going to throw this to the side because that sucker, look at how long that is. Just ridiculous. And now we're going to look at our protected full grain leather. I'm going to try to look at our protected full grain leather. Beautiful stitching, start to finish, spacing, formation, exactly as we want to see it. Oops, when we can see it. Now our genuine cowhide. Checking my angle there to see if I was on the right track. Genuine cowhide as well, just absolutely spot on in every respect. Spacing, formation. And again, we're not talking a light sew off here, folks. We're talking probably 8 to 12 ounces of genuine leather. Beautiful stitching. Then we had our compressed felt, which is kind of like our new let's sew cement. And the stitches speak for themselves. Absolutely gorgeous stitching from start to finish. Those are brag-worthy stitches. Definitely brag-worthy. Just fabulous. And then we had our elk hide, our genuine elk hide. Whoops. And our genuine elk hide, and again, there's just no difference when it comes to being able to shift between materials that are as extreme as this. I mean, going from elk hide to felt and just a wide range of other sewing densities. And this 301 just didn't miss a beat. Absolutely gorgeous stitching. And then last but not least, our rubbery material. I'm trying to get myself lined up here. Our rubbery material. And this stuff literally stretches. If you pull on it, it's like a rubber band. So incredibly tricky stuff. And here we did 3 layers of this stuff. And there just wasn't any inconsistency, any misbeat whatsoever when it comes to this 301 being able to get the job done. So I'm extremely pleased, whether it's this ridiculously long line of stitching that I did on this U.S. Army grade canvas, or the protected full grain leather, or the genuine cowhide, or the compressed felt, or the genuine elk hide, or this rubbery leather nightmare stuff that just totally messes with any machine when it comes to sewing. And Dr. Sadio's Singer 301 from 1952, again, not only can this 301 that Dr. Sadio is going to have out in New York brag about the fact that it was the very first slant needle machine that Singer ever made, but it can also brag about the fact that it was the very first series. It was in the very first series coming out of the factory in that grand introduction when the 301 and the 301A came on the scene. So that is way, way, way cool. I should move these sew-offs real quick so that in this final shot you can just see how gorgeous Dr. Sadio's machine is. And I've got to wipe it off again. Jeez. I'm not really a neat freak, but I like things clean, you know what I mean? So look at that. And this is, I should have said this and I didn't. This is original paint and original decals. And all I did was a special conditioning process on the paint surface and working with the patina to really draw out the luster again. And I would say that that is a definite success, huh? And I'm not all about looks, you know that, when it comes to a machine, you know, being real pretty and stuff. But this is just a machine that you can just delight in every respect of being able to say, not only do I have a machine that'll sew the pants off of anything else, but it also is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous. So Dr. Sadio, I'm really excited to get this 301 packed up for you. Get it heading out to the great state of New York, and give you an opportunity to begin putting it to work and making masks and other protective gear for your fellow doctors and your fellow medical professionals that are fighting that pandemic out in you know, the epicenter of New York. And just wish you Godspeed with it. Hope you really have a lot of fun with this incredible machine, and I know you're going to be doing good with it as well. So God bless all of you guys. And I have not forgotten that we have long ago surpassed 7,000 subscribers. I think we're around 7,300 going on 7,400 already, and I need to come up with a premiere introducing what you need to do, what the contest is going to be, what you can win if you win the contest, and get that out there as well. It's just been really, really busy in the workshop, so I appreciate your patience. And again, remember, if you missed out, if you had an interest, saw this 301 that Dr. Sadio scooped up so quickly, and you said, doggone it, I missed it again. I missed the first one, now I missed the second one. Take heart. Because as I showed you in the introduction to this premiere, you've got the opportunity to reach out as soon as you see this premiere about that other 301A, that beautiful beige colored one that also has the same long bed that Dr. Sadio's does. Not one of those little short stubby ones. It's got the full bed that you can enjoy. So reach out right away. Don't send me a message through Messenger. Don't send me an email. Give me a call. And if you don't have my number, I've given it out several times. It's area code 920-454-0393. 920-454-0393. You can call it, you can text it, and say, I saw the beige 301A that you showed in Dr. Sadio's premiere. I want it. That's kind of what happened the last time I introduced the first black long bed singer like this one. The lady from Kentucky just called and she said, I want it. And that was even before she said, what's the price? So I was like, okay. And I'm gonna have integrity regardless. I'm gonna tell you what the price is, regardless of whether you're very enthusiastic or whether you're more reserved or whatever. But I think I price my machines for the amount of work that I put into them. I price them very, very fair. And I've been told that, you know, your machines are only slightly more than the ones out there that, you know, are a total question mark. And we know that all they really have done is shine them up a little bit. They haven't taken them apart like you have and done all the maintenance and the detailed deep cleaning and the optimization on the machine. So I try to give folks a fair shake. You know what I mean? All right. Blah, 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 blah. God bless, and watch for other great premieres like this. Remember to like it. Remember to like this premiere and to share it as well. Okay? God bless everybody. Take care. Oh, and thank you, Dr. Sadio. Enjoy.